Now, we know a lot of you have been suffering with the flu this season, and high fever, body aches, coughing. It can all be pretty unbearable, but there could be an end in sight for us. And this morning, LaPlante's here with the Kent County Health Department to talk a little bit about this. So we got some new numbers yesterday for Kent County, and it looks like it's plateaued or even dropped a little bit from the week before.
Yeah, the good news is it's dropped, about a 43% drop in new cases over the week before. We had 127 new cases confirmed last week. We had 221 confirmed cases the week before that. So the good news is we are definitely seeing a drop off. But even then, we're saying still remain vigilant, do all the things you have to do to make sure that you're protecting yourself. Even with a 43% decrease in new cases, we could still see another peak later in the season.
Okay.
We don't know what next week holds. So the other news that came out yesterday, we also saw a drop in the number of people going to emergency room for flu-related illness.
Okay, well that's good too, because it doesn't clog up all those emergency docs as much here. But this isn't over like you're saying. This is something that could keep on going, and it's not necessarily this particular strain of flu that we're going to be talking about now, right?
That's right. It's really unpredictable. There are 3 different strains that are most common right now. There's seasonal A, B, and H1N1. And so you see those 3 different viruses that are going around. A is the most common right now, but we don't know if there's going to be a peak with B or H1N1, or if A could come back and grab us at the end of the season again.
Really?
So you just don't know. It's very hard to predict from year to year.
You know, if you got the flu shot, is that effective against all these different strains you're talking about here? Will it make a difference here in the future if H1N1 rears its ugly head?
This year's vaccine is effective against those 3 different strains, and so we have seen about a 62% effectiveness in those vaccinated, so that's good news. But still, do those certain things like washing your hands, make sure that if you are sick, stay home. Try to steer clear of anyone who is sick.
Yeah, not a bad idea as far as that's concerned. How's this season work, the flu season? Because we've seen it happen so much earlier this year. So does that mean it's going to end earlier this year, or is it going to keep going like this?
Boy, I wish we had an answer for that.
Yeah.
Right now, you know, typically you see the flu season could start as early as November, could end as late as March, April, May. So we just don't know. Typically it peaks around February, but this year we're a few weeks early, so we just don't know if we're going to see a secondary peak yet. It could happen. It has happened in previous years. The season can last anywhere from 9 to 15 weeks once the season does actually kick in and take effect. And so with the season having started in December, we could still see another few weeks of this.
Wow, a couple more weeks of this sort of thing going on here. Should I go ahead and get the flu shot then if you haven't gotten it yet?
Yes,
That's
yes.
still a
The
good
good
idea.
news is that flu shot is effective for about a year. And so if you get it now, you have to get it again next year, but you know, for an entire year you're protected against those 3 viruses.
Oh, that's good to hear. Good news. All right, thank you so much. Lisa LaPlante coming in to talk from the Kent County Health Department. We appreciate you coming in here for the 2nd day in a row here. Very
Anytime.
helpful. Elbow?
Elbow.